A lot of grandparents I'm representing grandparents increasingly, and a lot of them don't understand what their rights are. Unfortunately, in certain contexts, you may have a child who has a child who is mentally ill or physically ill and can no longer take care of a child. It's unfit to take care of your grandchild, and the grandparents are wondering what their rights are. And so there's a couple of rules of thumb. If it's an intact family and both parents are getting along and there's no custody issues and both parents are fit, grandparents don't really have any rights. It's the parents, and that's one of your constitutional rights, to raise your children as you see fit without interference from anyone, as long as you're a fit parent. If there's an active custody dispute, say the nuclear family is no longer intact and the husband and the wife are splitting up and they have a dispute over who's going to get custody. And so your son is John and Amy is the wife who may get primary custody. Grandparents have standing to intervene in that custody suit to make sure that they get visitation, to allow them to get visitation for the grandkids in case the spouse that's not your child gets custody or primary custody or in some way, shape, or form wants to deny you visitation. Then and only then can you intervene and seek visitation rights. And the other issue is if you have an unfit parent or unfit parents. And what is increasingly becoming apparent are parents who have substance abuse issues or mental health issues, and the children are not being well cared for and they're unfit, whether they're not being fed, they're not going to school, they're not getting health care, or they're being abused in some way and they're in danger, for lack of a better word. Then the parents can bring a suit for custody, and even the grandparents rather can bring a suit for custody, or any interested party who has a relationship with the child. It could be an aunt, it could be an uncle, it could be a close family friend, and if they are a person who is in a position to see what's going on with the child and has that type of relationship with the child in lieu of the child going into foster care, those parents can sue, or those people, the grandparents or the relative or the friend, can sue to have temporary custody that may eventually become permanent if the unfit parents aren't able to care for the child. It's a long process. The polar guiding star of the courts is what is in the best interest in the child in that type of context. It's unfortunate that we're having to get involved in these types of cases, but again, if you see your grandchild or your niece or your nephew being neglected or abused, then you have the ability to take the matters into your own hands for the benefit of the child.